this over now, because as I mentioned, when it comes to health and wholeness, it's applied to just more than just our physical welfare, but it also applies to our financial welfare. One of the most extreme, most chronic problems we all deal with in adjacent to physical health problems are financial problems. The working class is a class that I would consider in some matters a struggling class. Why do I call it a struggling class? Well, because we work in positions, so to speak, where we're pretty much living in oppressed manners. The money that we make does not really fit for the circumstances that our lives demand of us. Most of us are living in debt. Some people call it good debt to feel a little bit better about themselves, but we're not financially free. And when it comes to being financially free, nobody really knows what that means. Just like what I referred to, what I mentioned in our last session, when nobody really understands what health and exercise, what all these things mean. They know of it, but they don't know it. It's in a sense like thinking about everybody who says, I know what math is, but I really don't know how to do it. And so as a result, we're in this position where because of this, that's that other arm, we find ourselves having a challenge anytime financial matters come to place. We have a challenge overcoming it. And so going back to going back to what I mentioned and what this is about, removing probability from the equation, part 2, we're going to talk about how we can fix our financial matters, how we can fix our financial standards and lifestyle in a way where when we put the work in, when we make the decisions, make the choices, we're going to get the results that we're looking for. First, I just want to start off with just a little bit of education. Just as wherever I like to say it is this: wherever there's a chronic problem, there's usually a chronic lack of knowledge associated to that problem. And so when we think about financial stress, and we think about the matters that the underprivileged communities and all of the things that people are dealing with on finances, it's so chronic. Poverty is everywhere. And a lot of us, we can hold that to say something's wrong with us or we made bad decisions. And of course, we can all make bad decisions. We can all make things harder for ourselves. But when it's from a chronic matter, you can't say everybody's all bad. There's got to be something associated to the system that is the result of this problem. And in this case, when we look at the system, when it comes to the place of finances, we got to think about it. Each and every one of us have all been in a place where we went to school, we graduated from school, and we learned a lot of things, but none of us learned financial literacy. We learned how to read, write, we learned how to count and do math, but we never learned how to apply that to a fiscal financial matter in our lives. And so what we know is, for the most part, either what our parents taught us or what we kind of pretty much learned along the way in this matter, but how is that benefiting us? No different than in the sense of how has it benefited us when we have a billion-dollar health industry on diet and exercise, and we have a chronically ill society. So going back to financial literacy, getting back to what is money, understanding what are the ways of being able to leverage money. This is something that we really don't know, or many people really don't know. And as I said before, and as I've done before, I like to use illustrations to give an example of where I'm coming from. In times when I've given this illustration, I would usually get a person, usually a young gentleman, and bring them up on the stage, and I'll just give them one simple. I'll give them one simple. I'll give them one simple order instruction to follow. I say, okay, I want you to walk to the other side to the stage. I'm sorry. I'll say, I want you to go to the other side of the stage. You just can't walk straight there. Okay. And usually when a person thinks that, they say, oh, I can't walk straight there. Okay. So they'll look around and they'll say, well, maybe I'll zigzag there, or maybe I'll just kind of walk in a little curve there. You know, it doesn't matter. And they get there and they say, hey, I'm here. And then what I'll say to them, I say, that's great. I said, but I didn't say you couldn't run straight there. I didn't say you couldn't hop straight there. I didn't say you couldn't skip straight there. My point is there were other options that you could have done getting straight there. And what I'm proving to him, I said, is having this one-track mind when it comes to how to get to the other side. Oh, most people look at it as the only way that I can get out of debt, or the only way that I can get myself into a good financial position is either taking out a loan or, creating a savings account. when it, you know, that's just about it. Or you may be a few other matters, but it's a pretty limited perspective when you look at your options on how to get out of how to fix my problem. And so to start, what I share is explaining that there are multiple options. And so when I say to an individual, you can hop straight there, you can run straight there, you can skip straight there, I'm saying to this individual that there are many ways that you can fix your problem. And now that you recognize this from this objective statement, now I can show you all the different ways in how you can fix your problem. Now, whether you're trying to get out of debt or whether you know somebody else who's trying to get out of debt, this information, what I'm sharing with you, is essential, because there's somebody we come across who's saying, hey, you know, this is the problem I'm having and I'm trying to get a hold of it. And how good does it feel for us to be able to be equipped to help people who are in need? I know it makes me feel good. And I'm pretty sure I've seen for others it makes them feel good as well. And so